Okay, so good morning to all our viewers out there in the Philippines. Magandang umaga. We have a special guest today, Miss Kayla Richardson, the 2015 SEA Games champion in the 100-meter dash. I will now start with a few slides and then proceed to my questions. I'll just open up the window. So these slides are just for the benefit of our viewers to have some background information on our interviewee today. So today we are talking to Kayla Richardson, the 2015 SEA Games 100-meter champion who represents the Philippines. Just advising to view some more of our great videos at youtube.com, PinoyAthletics20, training tips, videos, insights, results to do with athletics, particularly Philippine athletics and Southeast Asian athletics. Before I continue, I will just advise that we are organizing our competition on the 21st of May at Pangasinan, Lingayen. It's an open athletic championships. Email inquiries to PinoyAthletics@gmail.com. Details on our website. So that will be held on May the 21st as an open competition with a selection of events. And now regarding our interviewee today, Kayla Richardson, some background, born 17th of April 1998, twin sister of Kyla. Dad, Jeffrey Richardson, first contacted Pinoy Athletics in 2012 about his two daughters wanting to represent the Philippines. Kyla and Kayla acquired their passports in 2013. Her first international was at Nanjing, China at the Asian Youth Games, where she finished 5th place in the final. What didn't play at the 2013 SEA Games and World Youth Championships due to being under the minimal age for these competitions. Philippine junior record in 2014, 11:65, which still stands. Went to the World Under 20 Championships at Oregon in 2014 in the 1 and 200 heats. 2015 SEA Games, the surprise winner of the women's 100 and silver in the women's 200 at the age of 17 at the Singapore SEA Games. 2015 World Youth Championships, made the semi-finals of the 200 meters, finishing 6th in semi-final 3. Following year, went to the World Under 20 Championships in Poland, 100, 200 heats. 2017 SEA Games in Malaysia, bronze in the 4x1. 2019 SEA Games in the Philippines, silver in the 4x1. Personal bests, 11:57 for the 100. 23:19 last weekend in the 200. And 53.81 in the 400 from back in 2017. And regarding Hanoi 2021, Kayla is ranked number 1 in the 200. Of course, Kyla ran 23:12 with a slightly over 2-meter wind. So on the legit rankings, Kayla is ranked first in 200 at the moment. Competing in the 100, 200, and 4x1 with sister Kyla. I will ask her about other events at the moment. Number 3 on the all-time lists behind Christina Knott and Zian Carellas Nelson, 23:01 and 23:18. And SEA Games schedule for 2021 for those interested in what times Kayla will be competing. This is all in Vietnamese time zone, May 14. So 9:15 in the morning, the 200 heats, 4:15 in the afternoon, the 200 final, May 18, 9:15, the 100-meter dash heats, and at 4:50 in the afternoon, the 100-meter dash finals. Looking through the schedule I was provided carefully, it didn't actually specify what time the 4x1 was on, so I need to look into that shortly. However, we have now covered our background information on Kayla, so I will now proceed to my set of 10 questions. But firstly, Kayla, I was going to ask, before I do ask the set of questions, my presentation led to another couple of questions. Do you happen to know what day the 4x1 is scheduled? Because I don't have that on my timetable.
I believe the 4x1 is on the 16th.
16th of May.
It should go the 200 and then off, and then the 4x1 off.
And then the 100. Can I ask, are you just in those, well, that is quite a plate full of events because there's 2 rounds, so that totals 5 races, but are you in any other events? Did they put you in any mixed relays or anything else, or is that it, as far as you know? Or they might spring a surprise?
I will find out when I get there.
Yeah, that's always the way. Yeah. I heard, though, there is no 4x1 mixed relay. There is only a 4x4 mixed relay.
Yeah, I don't have a 4x1 there. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have a 4x1 mixed relay. They're not holding that event. But, you know, like the the possible sprung surprises is if they want you to run a 400 of some sort, like a 4x4 or a 4x mix or 4x4. Those are the the hidden, I guess, the hidden shock surprises. If once you get there, then you go, oh, you're running a 400 as well.
Yeah, we will see. We'll see what happens.
So anyway, getting back to my set of questions, I will be asking some general non-related track questions regarding your Filipino side, and also, so I don't really have I've just jotted down 10 questions, so then it might jump from here to there. So I'll just start with first question. So my first question is, looking back to your your surprise win at the 2015 Sea Games in the 100-meter dash at the tender age of 17. How much did that win 7 years ago mean to you as an athlete and as a person?
When I was at that time, how much did it mean to me?
Or even now, like even looking
now,
back at it. Yeah.
Looking
and at
back,
the time now.
At the time, it meant a lot. Like, my plan was just to go out. Well, even my dad was like, just go out there and have fun. Like, my track season was already going really well. I actually had to leave the California State high school like championships meet to get to Singapore on time to compete, I didn't get to compete in the finals there, so I was down about that. But after Sea Games went the way it went, I couldn't be mad at it. Like, it was definitely a surprise, but it meant a lot. It was awesome. Definitely a fun.
And now looking back at it, like 7 years ago, what are your thoughts on, on the fact that you had that win? And
I've been thinking back to that Kayla, just the shape I was in then, and trying to get back to it, because it's been a while since I've been able to run well, and it's just it's been a long journey. Even the season alone has been a long roller coaster, but I'm looking back on that, and then going into this Sea Games now after this past weekend, I'm very very excited.
Yeah, because looking at, the progress of you and Kyla, it's like you guys are kind of like sleeping giants. It means that you basically had very good performances, which several years back. For the last few SEA games, you guys have had to settle for just medals in the relay, no
Yeah.
individual medals at this point. But now it seems that for both of you, everything is kind of clicking. Because I mean, one of my follow-ups, but I'm not asking my questions in any order. I'm just asking them as it flows.
Mm-hmm.
You jumped. Your season's best for 200 has jumped from 24.65 to 23.19, and that's
Oh yeah. Well, that was from junior year of high school.
no, but I mean, like, I have been, just keeping track of your
Well, yeah.
times for the season, and I'm not sure if I've got all of them, but I've been looking at World Athletics and TFRSS, and it seems that you opened this year with, just 24.65, but then you jumped,
Oh, that's
like
what you said. Yeah, 24.
you
Yeah.
leapfrog 1.5 seconds. I mean, was there an injury at the start of the season, or was it,
Yes.
like
That 24.65, I had like tore my hamstring in that
yeah,
race. And then, so obviously we had to back off training. And then I didn't run another 200 until 2 weeks ago. And
yeah,
that was 23.99. I don't know if you saw that.
23.19?
23. No. The one 2 weekends ago was 23.99.
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, how you said on the 24.65 when you tore your hamstring, what month was that? Because I don't have all the records in front. I just jotted down
Let
notes
me,
quickly this morning.
that was in March.
So that's not that long ago. That you didn't the
No.
hamstring wasn't long ago. It's not like that was in December or January or
Yeah, no. It was not.
months. That's only like 2 months. That's only 2 months back.
So, yeah, when that happened, me and my coach, like, obviously I got a little bit down, but my coach was like, we can still make this happen. It's just crunch time now. We'll figure it out.
What may I ask you? What level was what grade of tear was the hamstring called or tear? Like what? How bad was it?
I have no idea. I just know it, like, it wasn't, it was more than a strain. Like, I actually
Yeah.
pulled it. I don't know the specifics of it. It's happened so many times. I just like, oh, I hurt my hamstring again.
How long did it take to kind of get right? That hamstring
To
like
get like right, probably like a month and a half.
about
Because I
six
never
weeks.
stopped. I never rested. We just
Yeah.
did. I just did what I could.
How did your coach adapt the training around the hamstring injury? Did he give pull workouts? Did he give like non-bearing exercises? What exactly did he implement in order to help you get you know
We
the
basically had
recovery?
to back off of sprinting, obviously. Not completely. Like, I couldn't do top end speed work for some reason. Well, obviously, they had to do with the part of my hamstring that got messed up, but we at the time when I wasn't able to like get on top of my run, I was just doing a lot of like acceleration work.
Yeah.
So he Coach Gary, he basically I was doing everything that my body was letting me do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we had the injury, did he did he coach sort of like lessen the distances or the longer sort of
I
stuff
actually
is
had to
sort
go
of
longer. I had to go longer.
so just longer and sort of like not as intense.
Just yeah, lower the intensity and
So what like around 90% or 80, 90%
probably
or
like
less.
I was running probably like I no, not 90% because that would be a lot. That's still high intensity.
Oh
Um
yeah, there's still spikes on. It's not really rough. You can't really run those in trainers. You sort of
oh
put the
yeah, no,
spikes on.
like for a while I didn't for a while we were just staying in my tennis shoes and I was just running at whatever pace that I could without it hurting. It was like that.
So around maybe 75, 80.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because I got a runner who's, like at nationals, he sort of like, strained his hamstring 60 meters into the race. So he's, I've got to sort of do the same kind of thing, but maybe get him in the swimming pool with
That's
the
good. That's really good
the,
too.
the flotation belt. Like that's sort of
Yeah,
thing
I've
I'll be
done that
looking.
before.
Yeah. Anyway, with the so you ran twos, you run a few twos. You're also running the 100 at the Sea Games.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that? Because no hundreds have come out yet, but based on the fact that you've come out around 23:19, presumably comfortable enough at this point with your start to be able to confidently go into that 100 at the Sea Games.
Oh yeah, I'm going into everything very confidently. I'm in a good spot right now.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm guessing if you can get through a two, which is longer, the hundred's obviously going to be all right because
Yeah.
it's a shorter distance. So if you can get through the two, and looking at how you run, your finish has always really been the strong point compared to your getting on blocks. Like
Yeah.
even looking back, right back to the the 2015 Sea Games where you were probably coming like about fifth or sixth
Absolutely.
at the 50-meter mark, and then you just plowed through like in that last 20, 30 meters over the just blanketing over the rest of that field. Um, okay, can I ask on the subject of your coach? Who are you currently being coached by? I believe you're at UC Irvine. Which school are
No,
you
I
with? Kelly?
graduated. I'm Coach Gary Kablayan is my coach.
Oh, okay. So you're working with Gary, and I believe Gary is associated with, is it Evo Sports?
Evo, yeah.
Yeah, Evo Sports. So now you're
Evo.
working full time with Gary. Is Gary doing your strength programs as well? And your
Yes.
yeah, so he's dealing with the
Ev-
technical and the strength and conditioning
Yeah.
side. Okay. Um, So now that you've finished at college, may I ask firstly what degree or course you did?
Yes. I got my for undergrad at USC, I got my bachelor's of science in lifespan health with the gerontology school, and
Yep.
then um, at UCI, I got my master's in social science, demographics, and social analysis. It was a practical research program.
What is your plan after athletics in terms of vocational um, uh, uh, career or whatnot?
I don't necessarily have a plan, but I'm slowly working my way into coaching.
Awesome.
That's as of right now, that's my only plan. Um and
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, sorry, just going through all my questions. Some of them are just you know like Philippine type stuff. But okay, so my next question is going into the Sea Games. What's it like knowing that your own twin sister's probably now going to be your biggest opponent, especially after the withdrawal of the two top guns at the Sea Games, KK Christina Knott and Letu Chin of Vietnam. Now that the fact that your biggest opponent now is going to be your own twin.
um it's definitely a funny feeling, but
Yeah,
I'm like we're both like very excited. Because we never really we haven't competed against each other in forever. Um
Yeah, because you're in different. You're in a div. Well, you're in Div 1 and she's in Div 2.
Yeah, but yeah, we're
Yeah,
both excited. I'm excited to be able to like warm up with her, go through the staging area with her and everything. Um,
yeah.
it. I think this is
It
it's
definitely would take off. I'm guessing. Do you think it would add more pressure, or it takes off a lot of pressure? The fact that you've got her there to warm up with for your events, and you're basically in the same race with her.
a little bit of both. Like that sounds crazy, but it really is a little
Yeah,
bit of both. Like the the best person that I would want to lose to is my
yeah,
sister. Like I would be it's that's kind of like the best and worst. But
yeah.
um I'm
I mean,
definitely
it looks pretty even, doesn't it? Like, I mean, looking at how the two of you have both been dishing out pretty good times this year, and both of you are probably in the best shape of your lives right now. It
yeah.
looks like it's going to be,
It's gonna be a fun
it's not
thing
going to be much in it.
to watch. Yeah. No, I was just saying to her like especially in the 100 like I can't even if I don't get out, I'm gonna get left. Like,
Yeah,
and that
is
goes
she a
for
better
both of us.
starter or?
We're pretty much the same.
Yeah,
I think pretty much the same, but her 100 times are definitely looking
the two's going to be pretty
nicer than
damn
mine.
interesting.
Yeah,
I
it's
can
gonna
just
be.
say because you both dished out 23-1. Even
Yeah,
though your 23-19 was into like a slight headwind and hers was at 2.3. I
yeah,
mean,
but
there's not really that much in it if you convert that 23-12 into a legit time. It's around the same.
right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it'll definitely be interesting. Yeah, to watch
So the
and
next questions I got here, sorry for cutting off, but the next questions are um, other goals in athletics. I'm guessing that at 24, you and Kyla are starting to head into your prime in terms of peak years for athletics. You're beginning to head into the peak years, like at
hmm
24, because usually peak years are within the mid to late 20 range. Um, so the first update is we have news that the Asian Games in China were postponed till next year, and that leaves the World Championships, which will be held in, I believe, I'm not too sure, maybe August or September. I'm not
July.
exactly
It
sure.
was in July.
July.
Yeah.
In July. So yeah, July. So coming up after the Sea Games.
hmm
So I asked the same question to Kyla, and I'm asking the same question to you. Would World Championships be something that you would be aiming for in terms of? I'm guessing probably if we look at the events, the one and the two, you would. I'm guessing you're probably gonna say the two.
For sure. Yeah. Better
Yeah.
chances of making that qualifying time.
Yeah.
We
So
talk about this.
the two has a qualifying time of 20 to 80, I
Yeah.
believe.
Mhm.
So of course, failing the qualifying time, it becomes like pretty close cut. If nobody hits that 20 to 80, it becomes like who's going to get closer to the 20 to 80
Yeah. Yeah.
if nobody hits the 20 to 80. But if
Mhm.
somebody hits the 20 to 80, then the female selection for the Philippines becomes pretty clear cut, meaning that
Yeah.
everybody else, once one person hits it, everyone else has to hit it.
Yeah. That's been like in the
Yeah,
back of my mind all season. Like that's a possibility. Um,
yeah.
I definitely would love to go and compete if it's depending on how the rest of the season before that plays out. But yeah, that would be awesome to go there.
Because I looked at, there's three ways of qualifying. The first one is you hit the standard, which is 20 to 80. I
Yeah.
mean, it's possible, but it's still a while to go. That's not that it's from 23-1 to 20 to 80 in 2 months. It's still a while to go, but if you
Yeah.
got into the right race and got the right conditions, and
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
click, you probably could get it. The second option is obviously, I think it's based, if it's like anything like the Olympic Games, it'll be based on the points, meaning that you have to run at certain events to amass a number of IAAF points to be ranked high enough to get sent, which means
Hmm.
competing at a lot of permit meets. Then the last resort, or the third option, is basically the universality wild card, which Christina Knott was able to use at the last Olympic Games,
Hmm.
which basically comes down to which female athlete is closest to standard, which would be the last of three options. My next follow-up question to that is, following the Southeast Asian Games, and we did ask this question to Kyla, but because you've told me that you no longer have any school commitments because you've already graduated, Kyla's answer to this was, that she has other school meets straight after SEA Games. A
Hmm.
question to you was this: um, after the SEA Games, where and when would be your next races? Is there any plans to compete over in Europe, or
That
what would you plan afterwards?
yeah, me and my coach mentioned that today, um, but I don't really know yet. Like
Yeah,
I
because
want.
my partner now might want to, mention to Gary, or I have a chat, may need to just mention or have a chat with Gary, because he's talking, like Arnell was talking to me about the Golden Spike, which would be on the 31st of May over in Ostrava, where they would be having a women's 200. But I
Uh,
guess that would depend on the SEA Game, how the SEA Games pans out.
yeah,
But that was Ernell was very interested in inviting somebody over to the Golden Spike, just to get somebody over to the Golden Spike, because he's
oh,
based over in Hungary and he knows people over in the Athletics Association, and would be interested in having a representative over in the 200 at the Golden Spike.
yeah,
Considering, I guess, that you've already ran against Toulouse, um, you'd be up against similar ability athletes, but yeah, I guess that would be after the SEA Games.
hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, how was it? Moving back to that, actually, how was it racing against Toulouse? Like, how
It
did you
was
find?
so in the 100, like that race kind of just like came and went.
Yeah,
Like I don't really remember it, but the 200, I was like, I remember before the race, I was just like, let me just stay as close to her as I can because I know my time will be fast.
yeah,
um, and we were at Occidental College, and I guess that turn is wider than normal tracks. So my coach was like, just get out, and you got to make sure you run a good turn. And yeah, that was a nice race. I definitely was aware of her. She was like 2 lanes ahead of me. The lane
I
right,
watched. Yeah,
yeah, the lane right in front of me was empty, and then she
yeah,
was in the next lane, so 2 lanes away from me. And um, I was like, I just got out and ran that turn, and I was like, wow, I'm not too far behind. And I was like, let me just stay as close as I can.
I watched the race, and I mean, I watched the form and the running composure of Toulouse. She looked so relaxed when she ran that
Yeah,
22:68. I mean, she's obviously, one of the best in the world, like fifth at the Olympic Games in the 200. But, when she ran that 22:68, it looked, she was very fluid. Like, I mean, she was totally, there was no tightness and
yeah,
no, no strain or no technical errors. It was just fluid. Just the way she ran, very good form, and just totally no tension, just relaxed. Like
yeah,
she was just sort of striding it out.
yeah,
But it was good that you got in the same race as her, because she, pulled you through, obviously, to a great time.
definitely.
It was good.
For sure.
Sorry, the last set of questions I'm asking are just related to Filipino side of things. So, like I really, you know, I'm a bit of a nerd, so like I like most of my questions are more statistical based, but I got asked by a lot of my viewers to ask some Philippine related questions, and for me, honestly, I feel it was a little bit corny to ask these kind of questions, but like obviously my viewers want these kind of questions, so
Yeah.
I've sort of slipped them in at the end after covering the more nerdy kind of stuff. So these are the questions. So these are the Philippine questions. So I'm just going to ask you firstly, on for your Filipino side, if you have a favorite Filipino dish or food.
Oh, my grandma's chicken adobo.
Chicken adobo. Okay, that's awesome. I mean, I asked, um, like Griffey what her favorite food was, and she said puchero. So that sort of became a nickname after that. So yeah, like okay. Uh, Dad said you have some plans to visit the Philippines. Like,
Yeah.
which parts would you be planning on visiting?
I I haven't we haven't like made a plan yet, so I don't know. But we do
So
want to go
no
to
itinerary yet. Okay.
no, yeah. We definitely want to go back to I think there was a I don't even remember where it was. Um where the I think it's Ultra.
Oh, the
That
Pasig.
sport yes, there we had a couple years ago we had this little clinic for like this
Yeah,
big
for the
group of
kids.
young kids, and
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
definitely want to go back there because that was nice to see.
Yeah, I saw
They
the photo. I've got the photos somewhere from that. I still
yeah
got them saved.
yeah we
Yeah.
definitely want to go back. Other than that, I'm not sure, but we
So
will.
just see where the road takes you, kind of thing.
Huh?
Just see where the road takes you, kind of thing, for the
Exactly. Yeah.
visit. Okay. So besides Ultra, have you visited other parts of the Philippines yet, or just mainly the Manila region at this
It's
point?
it's mainly been Manila, like super close to the airport.
Yeah.
Because like Kyla said, we've normally had to like come in between like a break from
Yeah.
school and then go back and then get right back to school. So we haven't had a lot of time to like go sightseeing or anything. But
Yeah. Yeah.
like now we're slowly well Kyla's almost done with school and then we'll have more time to
Yeah, because I mean, you guys have got a lot of stamps in your passports now for
yeah.
countries traveled, but for the Philippines, I'm guessing it's just Manila at this point. What part of the Philippines is your mother from?
Zamboanga.
Do you know which part of Zamboanga? Because I was coaching out that way few years back.
I don't know. I'm not sure. That's all that they tell us is that she's from Zamboanga.
From Zamboanga. I'm not sure if it's Cebugi or Zamboanga City or whatnot, but I was out in Del Sur. I mean, just working out in Del Sur, I mean, the thing I found in Del Sur is they had a lot of talented female sprinters. I mean, we found, like just in a year and a half, we found about four of them, and then there was another three later that were all running under 13. So there was
Mm,
like, they just had a lot of talent for, in terms of female sprinters.
yeah.
There was a lot of talent compared to the men. The women there were like just like more tough than the men in terms of sport. When I was coaching out there, the women at the sports academy,
Hmm.
like I'd be lucky to get the boys in the gym like maybe once or twice a week. The girls were there like 3 or 4 times a week in the every
Hard
time we had a
work.
gym. They're always there. They really just put in a lot of effort when it came to the gym sessions compared to
Hmm.
the guys were there once or twice a week.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Anyway, that was all the questions I had for today. Would you like to send a message to the viewers out there in the Philippines regarding the upcoming SEA Games?
Um, thank you for watching, and thank you for your support. Expect a great show this SEA Games. We all, the team as a whole, we plan to do great things there, and I think we're all going in excited and confident to make everybody proud. So stay on the lookout for all of us.
Okay, so Kayla, thank you very much for your time today. We will end off today's uh, podcast and interview. I'm sure you have a lot of training and packing, for
Yep,
the SEA Games to get back to.
Mm-hmm.
So are you all packed for the SEA Games? Are you ready to?
No,
Is
I
everything
haven't
packed? Are
started
you just going
yet.
to throw everything into the suitcase the night before and hope that everything's?
That's exactly what I'm about to do.
That's what I do whenever I go overseas. The night before, I just throw everything in the night before, and just hope it's all there. But then I don't get any sleep because I'm
Yeah.
just worrying that everything's there.
Yep. That's what's about to happen.
All right, thanks, Kayla, and best of luck for your games.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. Okay, right out. Okay, so thank you everybody for viewing. And today that was Miss Kayla Richardson, who will be representing the Philippines in the 1, 2, and 4x1 at the Southeast Asian Games. I'm thanking everybody for tuning in, especially now it's very busy with the finalisation of the Philippine elections. Just a reminder of what's coming up. The Southeast Asian Games will be held from May 14 to May 21 in Hanoi. And following that, we will be having our national school tryouts in Iloilo from the 28th of May to the 29th. And also on the 21st of May, as I mentioned before, and I'll just bring this up again. Here we go. We will be having our PinoyAthletics Pangasinan Open Athletics Championships on May 21st, with registrations ongoing until May 18 in Lingayen. Selection of events for the sports of athletics approved by the local government of the province of Pangasinan. Anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in today, and you all have a pleasant afternoon.